Bridgestone, Bridgestone Corporation Shojiro Ishibashi, Kabushiki Gaisha Burijisuton is a Japanese multinational auto and truck parts manufacturer founded in 1931 by Shojiro Ishibashi Shōjirō Ishibashi Shōjirō in the city of Kurume, Fukuoka, Japan. The name Bridgestone comes from a calque translation and transposition of Ishibashi, meaning stone bridge in Japanese. As of 2020, the company is the second largest manufacturer of tires in the world, after Michelin France but before Goodyear United States, MRF India, Continental Germany and Pirelli Italy. Bridgestone Group had 181 production facilities in 24 countries as of July 2018. History. Origins. The history of Bridgestone America dates back to the two separate companies that merged to form Bridgestone Tire Company. The first one is Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, that was founded in August 1900 by Harvey Firestone and was headquartered in Akron, Ohio. The second one is the Bridgestone Tire Company. The first Bridgestone tire was produced on 9 April 1930. By the Japanese Kabushiki tire division actually made Jika Taba. 1 year later, on 1 March 1931, the founder, Shojiro Ishibashi, made the Kabushiki tire division independent and established the Bridgestone Tire Company. Bridgestone was named after the name of the founder, Shojiro Ishibashi. Ishi equals stone, bashi equals bridge. Foregoing dependence on European and North American technology, the Bridgestone Tire Company Limited set its eyes on manufacturing tires based largely on Japanese technology. The fledgling company experienced many difficulties in the areas of technology, production, and sales in the early days. Eventually, improvements were achieved in quality and manufacturing processes, which led to the business rapidly expanding in domestic and overseas markets. Challenges during and after World War II. Wartime regulations were in effect throughout Japan during World War II, and tires also came under the jurisdiction of these regulations. This resulted in nearly all of the company's output being used to satisfy military demand. 1945 saw the end of armed conflict, but the company was devastated by the war. The Tokyo headquarters was destroyed during an aerial bombing raid, and all overseas assets were lost. The plants in Kurume and Yokohama escaped unscathed, and production was able to resume immediately after the war ended. Brushing aside the problems caused by a labor union strike that lasted for 46 days, the foundations of the company were further reinforced after this. After the war, the company started making bicycles, with the Bridgestone Cycle Company being formed in 1949. From 1952, the first complete powered bicycles were produced with a 26th engine. In 1958, the first 50 Bridgestone motorcycles were manufactured, but the company's main income was from supplying tires to its rival motorcycle makers such as Honda, Suzuki, and Yamaha, and it was later decided to cease motorcycle manufacturing. Technological innovation. In 1951, Bridgestone was the first company in Japan to begin selling ReAnchor tires, and a 5-year project to modernize production facilities was started. This year also saw another Bridgestone building opened in Kyobashi, Tokyo, which contained the Bridgestone Museum. Sales surpassed 10 billion yen in 1953, placing Bridgestone at the top of the tire industry in Japan, and celebrations were held to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the company's foundation in Kurume. The sale of nylon tires was started in 1959, and work forged ahead with the construction of the new Tokyo plant, which was opened in 1960, in order to cope with the fast expanding market for motorization. Radial tires and overseas expansion. The company issued stock shares and was listed on the stock exchange in 1961. A new system of administration was ushered in by Shojiro Ishibashi as the chairman and Kanichiro Ishibashi as the president. As part of the transition across to administrative reform, The Deeming Plan in honor of W. Edwards Deeming, which involves overall quality control activities, was adopted, and the company was awarded the prestigious Deeming Prize in 1968. Also, additions were built onto the Tokyo plant in 1962. On the product front, 1967 saw the sale of the company's first ever radial tire, the RD10. Bridgestone's first overseas plant since the end of the war was opened in Singapore in 1965, and production was also commenced in Thailand in 1969. The 1960s for Bridgestone was an era of overseas expansion that also included the establishment of Bridgestone America in the United States in 1967 to act as Bridgestone's USA representative. At the start of the period of Japan's economic stagnation brought about by the first oil shock, the company was placing even more emphasis on establishing its own technology for the manufacture of radial tires, and it was also at this time that further domestic plants were constructed and fitted out. Its Superfuller radial was placed on the market in 1978, and in 1979 the company introduced the high-performance Potenza radial tire, from an Italian word for power. The company was actively engaged in overseas expansion activities at this time. In addition to starting up production in Indonesia and Iran in 1976, it also invested in a Taiwan tire manufacturer and purchased a tire plant and a plant for diversified products in Australia in 1980. The founder, Shojiro Ishibashi, died on 11 September 1976. On 1 March 1981, the company celebrated its 50th anniversary. At the same time, the company initiated activities to strengthen its home base that supported overseas expansion strategy with the aim of being ranked as one of the world's top 3 manufacturers of rubber products. New production facilities were also established in Thailand, India, Poland, China, the United States, and other countries. The company changed the name from Bridgestone Tire Company Limited to Bridgestone Corporation in 1984. Firestone purchase. In 1988, Bridgestone purchased the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio, placing considerable financial and personnel resources into rebuilding Firestone. After the purchase, Bridgestone achieved surplus annual profits for the year 1992 with BFE Bridgestone Firestone Europe, and again in 1993 with BFS Bridgestone Firestone USA. The Firestone Tire and Rubber Company and Bridgestone Tire Company Limited, USA were amalgamated in 1990 and became Bridgestone Firestone North American Holdings Limited. The North American subsidiary of Bridgestone Corporation is now named Bridgestone Americas, Inc. The tire division is Bridgestone Americas Tire Operations, LLC. Bridgestone Americas opened a $100 million technical center in Akron in 2012. Bridgestone's global locations. Bridgestone has major manufacturing plants in many countries around the world. As of 1 April 2011, Bridgestone has 47 tire plants, 29 tire-related plants, 19 raw materials plants, 89 diversified product plants, 4 technical centers, and 11 proving grounds globally. Some of the major plants are located in Australia, Europe. Bridgestone EU has its head office in Brussels, Belgium, and was set up in 1990 as Bridgestone/Firestone Europe SA. Before that, a representative office in Belgium set up in 1972, and sales subsidiary companies and importers in each countries were selling products imported from Japan. There are 7 production plants in the region and a 32-hectare research and development center near Rome, Italy. The company distributes more than 25 million tires a year through 17 national sales subsidiaries and 2 distributors. They directly employ over 12,000 people, with Mr. Tsuda as the CEO. At present, there are national headquarters in the following locations: Vienna, Austria; Prague, Czech Republic; Hinnerup, Denmark; Vantaa, Finland; Fresies, France; Bad Homburg, Germany; Athens, Greece; Budapest, Hungary; Dublin, Ireland; Milan, Italy, Moerdijk, Netherlands, Oslo, Norway, Warsaw. Bridgestone EU runs a continent-wide scheme called Truck Point wherein fleets can take their vehicles to any Bridgestone-approved garage throughout Europe and get Bridgestone specialist work carried out on their tires. There are no Bridgestone factories in the UK, but there is a technical bay at which tires returned by dissatisfied customers are inspected in Coventry. North America. As part of reinforcement plans, the company purchased a plant in Tennessee from the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, its first manufacturing plant in North America, and started the production of radial tires for trucks and buses in 1983. Bridgestone also has a steel cord plant in Clarksville, Tennessee, named Bridgestone Metalfa. Metalfa is currently ranked as the top provider in the global steel cord market. In May 1988, a takeover bid of America's No. 2 tire manufacturer, Akron, Ohio-based Firestone, was successful, and Firestone was placed under the Bridgestone umbrella as a subsidiary company. This purchase brought a large number of Firestone global production sites into the Bridgestone organization. These sites included North America, Central and South America, Europe, New Zealand, and other locations. Bridgestone also commenced production in Turkey. In 1992, the company established regional corporate offices in Europe and the Americas. Nashville-based Bridgestone Americas, Inc. (BSA) is the U.S. subsidiary of the Bridgestone Corporation. BSA and its subsidiaries develop, manufacture, and market Bridgestone, Firestone, and associate brand tires for consumers, automotive and commercial vehicle original equipment manufacturers, and those in the agricultural, forestry, and mining industries. The companies also produce air springs, roofing materials, synthetic rubber, and industrial fibers and textiles, and operate the world's largest chain of automotive tire and service centers. In November 2010, ASA Automotive Systems, Inc. was selected by the Consumer Tire Sales Division of Bridgestone Americas Tire Operations, LLC BOTO, as the software provider for their North American consumer dealers to supply the industry's leading all-in-one point-of-sale accounting and inventory shop management software. In 2014, Bridgestone Americas Tire Operations BOTO unveiled its newly rebranded GCR Tires and Service Division. With one of the largest network of commercial stores across the country, GCR reach extends nationwide. The letters of GCR reflect the last names of the original company founders Bally Griffith. In 2015, Bridgestone Americas, Inc. signed a deal giving its dealers the option to install digital air calibration machines from Excel Tire Gauge, Inc. in their stores. The digital air calibration machines streamline the tire inflation process by automatically inflating or deflating tires. In 2017, Bridgestone Americas consolidated many of their business units into a single building in downtown Nashville, Bridgestone Tower. Nearly 2,000 employees work in the new skyscraper, nestled between the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Schermerhorn Symphony Center. In April 2020, due to demand by essential service providers during COVID-19 pandemic, Bridgestone Americas announced plans to restart its North American commercial tire plants, as well as its North American Firestone industrial products and Firestone building products manufacturing facilities. Sports sponsorships. Formula Racing. Bridgestone started to invest in motorsport in the 1980s by developing race tires for feeder series like Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula Ford, Formula Opel Lotus, and karting. In order to increase the Firestone subsidiary's brand awareness, Bridgestone Firestone NAH Limited re-entered the Firestone brand into kart IndyCar open-wheel racing in 1995 to challenge Goodyear. The tires proved better, and Goodyear retired for 2000. Since then, Firestone has been the single tire provider for the renamed and disappeared Champ Car, the IndyCar Series, and its feeder series Firestone Indy Lights until 2013. Bridgestone has supplied tires in Formula One since 1997, although the company one-off produced Formula One tires at the 1976 and 1977 Japanese Grand Prix for Japanese entrants such as Kazuyoshi Hashino's Heroes Racing and Kajima. The Japanese company decided to supply tires for Formula One in 1995, backed up by the CEO Yoichiro Kaizaki, aiming to improve Bridgestone's name value in the European market, which was greatly inferior compared with their arch-rivals, Michelin. Though it was scheduled to enter the championship in the 1998 season at first, this was brought forward to 1997 because the engineering section led by Hirohide Hamishima had quickly advanced development. Thus, Hiroshi Yasukawa, the general manager of Motorsport Department, also made the best use of the experience and networks in Europe since the Bridgestone's European F2 era 1981-1984 and constructed logistics for Formula One at once. The first title was acquired right away in the second year, 1998, by Mika Häkkinen and McLaren Mercedes. And Bridgestone users took 5 Drivers' Championship titles and 5 Constructors' Championship titles 1998, 2001, 2004 for the period that competed with Goodyear 1997, 1998 and Michelin 2001, 2006. Especially, cooperation with Scuderia Ferrari and Michael Schumacher functioned well in this period. From 2008 to 2010, Bridgestone was due to be the sole tire supplier to the FIA Formula One World Championship. However, because Michelin chose to conclude its Formula One tire program at the end of the 2006 season, all teams used Bridgestone tires from the 2007 season to the 2010 Formula One season. On 2 November 2009, Bridgestone announced that they would not be renewing their contract to supply tires to Formula One teams after 2010. The company said it was addressing the impact of the continuing evolution of the business environment. Pirelli announced in June 2010 that it would serve as sole supplier for tires in the 2011 season. Sports car and touring car racing. In the 1980s and 1990s, Bridgestone provided tires to the Le Mans sport prototypes of teams Nismo and TOM, backed by Japanese automobile manufacturers Nissan and Toyota respectively. In the early 1990s, Bridgestone expanded to Mercedes-AMG, which entered the DTM and later Le Mans and the FIA GT Championship. The brand left international sports car racing in 2000, but remains as one of the main suppliers in the Japanese Super GT Championship. Motorcycling. In 2002, Bridgestone entered the Grand Prix motorcycle racing's main class Moto GP. From 2009 to 2015, it was the exclusive tire supplier of the championship and reached the milestone of 100 MotoGP victories in 2012. 9-time world champion Valentino Rossi was Bridgestone tire advisor, having won 2 MotoGP titles on Bridgestone tires in 2008 and 2009. In May 2014, Bridgestone announced they would leave MotoGP at the end of the 2015 season. Other sports. Bridgestone is the official tire of the National Football League, National Hockey League, and the Olympic Games. In addition, it is the title sponsor of the NHL flagship event, the Winter Classic outdoor game. In 2010, Bridgestone acquired the naming rights to the home venue of the NHL Nashville Predators, calling it Bridgestone Arena. They are also the title sponsor of the Copa Libertadores, the top competition for South American club football. Diversified products. The predecessors of Bridgestone began making diversified products in the 1930s, soon after they started making tires. Today, Bridgestone diversified operations encompass automotive components, industrial products, polyurethane foam products, construction materials, parts and materials for electronic equipment, bicycles, and sporting goods. Diversified business generates about 1/4 of total sales in the Bridgestone Group. Automotive parts are an especially large line of business for Bridgestone in diversified operations. Bridgestone supplies automakers with vibration-isolating components such as engine mounts. Bridgestone also supplies air springs for trucks, automobiles, and train carriages. Bridgestone market aluminium wheels and other automotive accessories. 2. Industrial products. Bridgestone's industrial products span a vast range, including polyurethane foam for automotive seats and interiors, for bedding and furniture, and for insulation and sealing in appliances and buildings, water hoses, marine hoses for loading and unloading oil tankers, specialty precision hose products, such as wire blade hose for construction equipment. Additionally, they make retreaded tires for aircraft. Their corporate headquarters for the Bridgestone Aircraft Tire Division is located in Miami in the United States. The Bridgestone product line in construction and civil engineering materials is similarly broad. Bridgestone supply multi-rubber bearings for installing in foundations to protect buildings from earthquakes, inflatable rubber dams for managing waterways no longer manufactured 2008, marine fenders for protecting wharves, additives for pavement, waterproofing sheet, rubberized ceiling and roofing materials, panel tanks for storing water. Bridgestone's line of products for electronic equipment includes precision rollers for office machines and functional films for solar cells and plasma displays. In sporting goods, Bridgestone market golf balls and clubs and tennis balls and rackets. Bridgestone's line of bicycles is Japan's most extensive see-above information ReAnchor Cycles. Bridgestone Commercial Services Group Bandag. On 5 December 2006, Bridgestone Americas and Bandag Inc. In announcing the merger, Bridgestone's president in Tokyo explained, "Higher fuel prices are prompting customers to cut costs by using retreads. It takes time and costs to develop this size of business. We were able to get that all at once." The transaction was valued at approximately $5 billion. On 31 May 2007, the agreement was consummated and Bridgestone Americas acquired the outstanding shares of Bandag stock for $50.75 per share. The unit was renamed Bridgestone Bandag, LLC, and Sol Solomon was appointed to the position of chairman, CEO, and president. Previously, Solomon served as vice president and general counsel of BISA. In the 4 years following the acquisition, Bandag's headquarters remained in Muscatine, although some processes and functions were consolidated and or transferred to other facilities. In November 2010, corporate headquarters were moved to Nashville. In May 2011, the unit was renamed Bridgestone Commercial Services Group, eliminating the name Bandag. Bicycles. The Bridgestone Cycle Co. Limited originated in 1949. It offers bicycles under its own brand and under the Anchor brand. At one time, Bridgestone marketed bicycles under the name Kabushiki. The U.S. marketing director of the bicycle division, Grant Peterson, developed a reputation for resisting popular trends in the bicycle industry and instead followed his own personal philosophy of building dependable and comfortable bicycles. Peterson applied this approach to Rivendell Bicycle Works after Bridgestone stopped marketing bicycles in the U.S. The company. This made it more nimble and a better climber. Until 1986, Bridgestone models were numbered in multiples of 100, with the higher numbers indicating a higher-end bike. The entry-level road bike in 1986, for example, may have been the Bridgestone 100, while the Bridgestone 700 would have been a competition-level race bike. Beginning in 1987, there was a change with model designations consisting of 2 letters followed by a numeral. The letters indicated the type of bike and the number indicated the position in the product lineup. The numbering was also reversed, with the smaller numbers indicating a higher position in the product line. For example, the RB-1 would have been the top of the line road bike, followed by the RB-2, RB-3, etc. Bridgestone is currently building frames in Japan for current track racing under Nihon Gaisha Shinkakai approved standards. It is currently producing non-NJS frames for the Japanese market as well. In Japan, it is known as a manufacturer of utility, mountain, and under the brand name ReAnchor road racing bikes. Bridgestone has also collaborated with Dr. Alex Moulton to produce the Bridgestone Moulton bicycle and marketed its own folding bicycle, the Bridgestone Picnica. Bridgestone also released a range of BMX bicycles in 1981-1982 known as the MKI and MKA. Motorcycles. Bridgestone Motorcycles were a division of the company, initially producing power-assisted bicycles. The division moved on to producing mopeds and then motorcycles. The motorcycles were technologically advanced and powered by two-stroke engines. The high technical specification resulted in the machines being more expensive compared to other manufacturers' models. Production was stopped in 1970 to protect the supply of tires to other manufacturers. Bridgestone Aircraft Tire. Bridgestone Aircraft Tire USA is a manufacturer of aircraft tires as well as retread servicing. Bridgestone Americas Holdings announced in May 2006 that it would be moving its Miami, Florida aviation operation to its new 160,000 square foot 15,000 m2 facility located in Mayodan, North Carolina. This move is expected to be completed by mid-2007 and will create approximately 95. CEO and president of Bridgestone Aircraft Tire USA Joe Reyna is quoted as saying, "This move allows us to continue to prepare for a changing market, both in demand and in product mix. New modern aircraft, such as the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and Airbus A380, arrive fitted with new Bridgestone technology aircraft." Bridgestone Aircraft Tire USA has been a major supplier of aircraft tires and retreads to the aircraft industry for over 70 years and has sister aviation facilities in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Belgium. Golf products. Bridgestone Golf is a division of Bridgestone and is the brand name under which Bridgestone's golfing products are marketed. Bridgestone has been producing golf-related products since 1935. The golf division of Bridgestone currently produces both clubs, balls, and accessories. Along with technical developments in tire technology came breakthroughs in golf ball technology. Design and production of golf clubs followed in 1972. Bridgestone has global coverage of its golfing products, with major divisions in USA Bridgestone Golf USA, Australia Bridgestone Golf Australia, and Korea Sokyo Corporation. Dolphin artificial caudal fin. In 2003, the caudal fin of Fuji-of bottlenose dolphin bred at the Akichin Theater of Okinawa Kurume Aquarium was necrotic, 75% of which was removed, and it became impossible to swim. Hence, Okinawa Kurume Aquarium has started a project to develop the world's first artificial dolphin caudal fin in cooperation with Bridgestone. In the early days, the artificial caudal fin could not be installed well because it could not withstand the swimming of dolphins, but aquariums made improvements and succeeded in installing the artificial caudal fin of the dolphin. In 2010, it was also installed in Pacific white-sided dolphin named Lannon, which is bred in Notajima Aquarium, and succeeded in installing the second artificial caudal fin in the world. Bridgestone Ereporter. Bridgestone Ereporter is a pan-European competition for aspiring young sports journalists, open to all students aged 18-30, who are in full-time education. Now in its fifth year, Bridgestone Ereporter continues to provide up-and-coming writers with first-hand experience interviewing GP2 drivers and issuing race reports from a European GP2 race weekend. The 2008 competition was officially launched on 1 February 2008, with the deadline for entries at 12:00 GMT on 31 March 2008. As of 2009, Bridgestone has not held further editions of the Ereporter competition. However, it may return in a different form in the future. Bridgestone was the sole tire supplier for the GP2 series. and open-wheeled racing championship. Controversies. In 2008, Bridgestone ran an advert during the Super Bowl Roman 42 showing a car driver avoiding several hazards while driving at night, including threatening to run down Richard Simmons, who was embodying a homophobic sissy stereotype, with Ad Age's critic Bob Garfield describing the advert as grounded in homophobia. In February 2014, Bridgestone agreed to a $425. The company said it regretted the actions that led to the plea deal and said it would take disciplinary action against certain employees.